Hello and welcome to erpwebtutor.com. This is Deep, and this tutorial we will talk about from some basics of OA personalizations. This tutorial is definitely going to be some of the simple changes that we often do in any company. These are the very common requirements, and we can achieve those changes using OA personalizations and without writing any Java code. So this can be done by the business analysts who do not have any uh, coding or technical knowledge of the ADF or OA framework. So all you need to know is just be familiar with the pages, just be uh, you just need to know where to find the kind of changes that you're trying to make and where to look for it. So it's very important for any person working on the framework personalization is to know exactly where to look and where to make the changes. Otherwise, you will make changes that might affect the page in a different way, and you might mess up the whole look and feel of the page. So let's get started. We're going to cover a few things here. Some of the basic changes that are often requested. So let's log into Oracle now. Now, the important thing is that when you are trying to make any framework personalization, I mentioned in my other presentation of framework personalization that you need to be careful about having the two profiles set. So the two important profiles that you need to set up are the personalized self-service definition that would give you the link and will let you personalize the page. And there's another one which is a personalization region level link enabled that will give you these region level links enabled. Let's take a look at how we set those up. So we go to System Administrator, and then we go to the System Profile. So once we are at the System Profile, I already have the profile set up for my user. So let's see what those two profiles are. So in the profile, let's search for Personalize, and we don't want to display the sites. Profile with no values, no, and for my user. So see, these are the two profiles that you need to set: the personalized self-service definition and FND personalized region link enabled. And make sure that you set these up for your user only. So it's set to yes for my user. So let's go back to Oracle screens. And in this tutorial, we will cover four basic sections on OA framework personalization. The first would be a very simple change, something like changing the prompt. So for that, for this tutorial purpose, we have selected the Payments Manager feature in AP, and we're going to do all the testings and changes on that screen. So these are the two payment process requests pending, so I can just use them. Let's go into one of those. So like I said, this is the page that is being rendered right now, and we have a field called the reference number. So this is the prompt you're trying to change. This reference number is sort of the invoice number for this payment. So if you see this, let's say it's kind of confusing for the users who are going for the payment. So they want it to be like reference number / invoice number, just to be more meaningful for the users. So when we are trying to do that, like I said, it's very important that you look for what you're trying to change. Now, if you see all these links that's appearing on this page, and these links appear above all the sections that are being displayed on this page. Like, we are interested in this field, the reference number. So this is the link, the personalized advanced table. So this is the table, and this is one of the columns in that table. So we need to be in this region to make the change that we're trying to make. So once we click this, so we go in here, and like I said, so you can see here, this is the reference number column, this is the header. So this is what we are trying to change. So this is the column definition. That's why it says reference number column. And this is the link, which is actually the data that is being displayed. And this is the header, and this is the sortable header. So this is the prompt that says reference number. And that's exactly what we're trying to change. So we need to click on personalize. And we see there's something called the prompt. So the original definition for this prompt is reference number, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, if you go through the tutorial and if you go through the document that talks about the overview of framework personalization, you would have a better understanding of what these levels are. I'm not going to talk in details about what levels are in this video. So this change we're trying to make is going to be across the whole company. So that's the reason we're going to do it at the site level. So what we're going to make it as reference number slash or reference slash invoice number. So that's the change that we're trying to make. And then we press tab. The small arrow, it means that it has been changed, it has been personalized. If you see these are not enabled. So once this the small link is enabled, that means it has been personalized, and if you just click on that, it's going to inherit. So what inherit means is that it's going to get the value from its original definition. So if I just click this now, it's going to be reference number again. So if I copy this and if I click this, say it says inherit, that means it's going to be the exact definition, the original definition. It's not going to be personalized. So if you want to remove a personalization, you can just say inherit, and it should be removed, and it would inherit the original definition for that field. But again, for the time being, let's add our changed prompt and hit apply, and then return to application. And we see that our change has been incorporated. So right now it says reference slash invoice number. So this is a very simple requirement that can come across in any company where they would like to change some of the prompts for some fields or column headers based on what they are used to calling those columns as. So this is a very simple change. Then after this video, you should be able to do it in no time. So that's about the first tutorial. Now, the second tutorial would be to change the display of the number of records. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say the users are used to seeing their old system as like 50 records at a time or 20 records at a time. Now, when they have got Oracle, now what happened is that this page is supposed to render for, let's say, this table, like the payment. These are all the different payments that we are looking at. So these payments are, right now I can see only 5 payments, right? So the users are, say, they want to see 10, and because that saves their time from doing next. Because right now, if I have to see the next 5, I have to click this, and that's how I see the next. So if there are like a lot of records, on the table, so you have to click next like many times to go to the last record. So it's a common request from the users that, okay, can we display like 10 or 15, so you don't want to display a lot so that your page is going all the way down. So but having like, instead of 5, like 10 or 15 is a very uh, a common request that comes from the users. So what we're going to do here now is, again, we have to look for what exactly in which area of this page or which region of this page we're trying to make the change. So now in this case, our goal is to display uh, 10 records, say, for the payments. So these are all the different payments, right? So these are the payment sections. Now, right now, it's displaying 5 payments in one page, and then for the next, you have to click next. So we are trying to display 10 per page, right? So we are interested in this section. Like I said, so now since we have the profile, the region level links enabled, we can see all these region level links. So the personalized advanced table. So this is the region. This is the link that is pertaining to this table, and we are going to click on this. Now, we have to think that, okay, what exactly we are changing? Is it a column? Is it a specific column, or is it a header, or is it the data? We are actually changing the definition of the table itself. So we are trying to display 10 records in the table. So now if we see this, and if you are kind of getting lost on what you need to do, just think that, okay, we are trying to change the property of the table itself. We are not trying to change the property of a column or the header. So we have to personalize the table itself. So that means this is the table. This whole table we are trying to personalize, advanced table. So let's click on personalize. And here is our stuff that we need to change. Records displayed is 5. So when somebody programmed this, so they made it to display 5 rows, and now you are making it to display 10. So cool, right? You're just overriding something. And the best part is that this does not change the original definition at all. All the original definitions are sitting on the metadata layer. So whatever personalizations you're making will sit on top of the metadata layer. So if for an upgrade or major patch is applied, you might lose them. So it's a good idea to save the pages for which you have made the personalizations. So there's a way, and there's a document, the way you can just just download your stuff and just keep a copy of the personalized page. So after any major patching or an upgrade, you can just upload your personalizations and you would not lose all the changes that you have made. So pretty simple. The number of records displayed changed from 5 to 10. As always, this small icon gets enabled and we apply. Let's go back. And there it is. This one had 9. So it's displaying 9. And there's this empty row. You can't help that because now you're saying that I display 10. So it's going to be like this. But that's a very common requirement. And most of the people in finance are used to seeing like thousands of lines of data. So for them, if they see 5, they would definitely ask for more. And now you can do that. So I hope you can now change the number of records displayed in any table, and that now should be a piece of cake for you. So let's go back again to our third tutorial on the same topic. Now we are trying to hide a field from the page. So now our goal is whatever fields we are seeing here, we are going to remove a field from this page. So there might be the most common requirement for this kind of change is if there are some sensitive information like the social security number or somebody's salary are being displayed on the page, and then you have some of the super users who should have access to that information, and then there are some regular users who would not have access to those information. So what the change would be like, the change request, the most common one is for this particular responsibility, just hide that field so that the users who are assigned that particular responsibility would not be able to view that field. And this is very common, and you have to do that if you're an analyst. And since now most of the pages are like web-based, like in the older versions of Oracle, we did not have that many pages built on the OA framework. Now with R12, especially the finance, and now there are a lot of pages which are converted to from the form-based screens to the browser-based screens. So now this is a very common requirement, and the framework personalization, the knowledge of it has become even stronger. So you should be able to do things like that. So let's get back to the point where we will try to hide a field from a page. In this example, what we're trying to do is we're trying to hide the pay bank account information from this page. So this is the pay bank account. We're trying to hide that. Now again, we are concerned about this region. So let's click on the link for this region. Our field was called pay bank account. So let's search for it. Where is our pay bank account? Okay, so this is the pay bank account column that we are trying to hide on the screen. So for that, we need to go to the personalize, and this is the property that we are interested in, rendered. That means it's going to be rendered on the page. Now, right now, the original definition is true. That means it will be displayed on the page. So what we will do is we will change the value to false at the site level. Again, this would make it invisible across the application. And right now, that's our goal. So we say apply. And return to application. Like I said, that's gone. So we don't see the payment, the pay bank account information anymore on this page. Now, the last piece of this tutorial is to add a hint or some kind of note on top of the pages. So this is a very common request again that keeps coming from the users. So let's say for a particular page, they keep forgetting to enter some information. So let's say, in this case, the pay reference number is a field that we can enter something, right? And the users are not used to entering something on that field. So let's say that this field is a new field that has been added to this screen. So you just want the users to remember, okay, please enter something in this field. So that's going to be a tip or a note that's going to be appearing on top of this page. So for that, we're going to create an item, and which should be displayed on this section, which would say that you're going to enter something for the pay reference number for ACH payment, let's say. So if it's an ACH payment, enter the reference number, right? So that can be a tip for the users. Then again, you can have all different kinds of tip messages that the users can ask for, just to be on the page so that they won't forget when they're making some data entry. So now we're going to add a field called, so this is just the table, so we can't add something here. So let's try to add something on the top or somewhere in this section, So, or let's try to add this on the top of the page so that it's they would notice it on here. So personalize page, and we are trying to add it on the top, the page button bar. So we're trying to add something at the top of the page. So we're going to create an item, and let's see what types make sense. Oh, there we have tip. So the type or the item style is tip, and this would say site, but we're going to this tutorial, we're going to make it a little tricky. We're going to add a tip, and we're going to restrict this item at the responsibility level. So we will see how we would add this field, and then it would be visible in one responsibility, and it will not be visible in a different responsibility. So let's do it. So this is, let's say, demo message. The text is, say, this is please enter a reference number for ACH payments. And let's hit apply. All right. Now if we go back, this is what we just added. Please enter reference number for ACH payments. Now, we are currently on the Payments Manager screen. What we want is, we want this tip to appear in, let's say, the payment AP Payment Manager responsibility, and we don't want this tip to appear on, say, the AP Payment Setup responsibility. I mean, this is just an arbitrary example, but there would be cases where you are supposed to display some information on one responsibility, and you don't want to display that in another responsibility. So this is just, we're just showing how to do it. Just this may not be a very realistic case, but this is just for the purpose of demonstration. So now let's see here. We go. So this is the AP setup, and let's take the AP payment. So what we're trying to achieve is, this tip should be visible in AP payment and not visible in AP setup. But right now, what's happening? Let's check that. So right now we just saw, okay, let's just take it again. So right now we are in AP setup. We go to Payments Manager. We click on some of the existing payment process requests, and we go to action, and the tip is there. So our goal is not to have it on the screen. And let's check again the AP payment responsibility, Payments Manager. We go to the same payment process, and right now it's not there, right? So let's see, let's click on Personalized Page, and the tip Personalize. See, this is the text, and this rendered is false at this responsibility. So what we're going to do is, right now we're going to make it inherit at every level. Apply. And this tip appears. So we want to display this tip at this responsibility. So let's leave it like this. And now we don't want to display it on the setup responsibility. So we go to Setup. We go to Payments Manager. And we go to our payment process and Personalized Page. This is our item. We're going to personalize it. And here we have to make it, for this AP setup responsibility, we're going to change the rendered property to false. So for AP setup, this is going to be false. That means it will not be displayed in AP setup, but it will be displayed in AP payment. Or in other words, in any of the payment AP responsibility where you have Payments Manager. So basically, it will not be displayed on AP setup, but will be displayed on any other AP payments responsibility where you have Payments Manager. Let's check that. So let's check any other responsibility with payments manager. We already saw that with AP payment. Let's double check. So we are currently on AP payment, and the tip is there. It's right there. Now let's check any other responsibility. Let's say AP. If we take any other responsibility, let's see if we have AP entry. Okay, so you have AP entry, which also has the payments manager functionality. So now if we go in here, this is the right operating unit, so we should be able to go into the details of it. And yes, got action, and the tip is there. So the tip is there for every AP responsibility that have payments manager except the setup. So that's how we can restrict our changes based on a responsibility. So we have covered that we are adding a hint on a page and we are restricting it to a specific responsibility. So in short, let's try to recap what we have learned in this tutorial. We have learned to change a prompt. This is the example. We have changed it from reference number to invoice number. We have also learned to change the display of the number of records on the table, which is this section. It used to be 5 records. Now it's showing 10. We also learned, as our third part, how to hide a field from the page. We remember there was a field called the payee bank account, which is no longer displayed. And the last part is how to add a hint or a tip on a page and make it specific for one or more responsibilities and not all responsibilities. So that's about it for this tutorial. We will definitely try to bring in more stuff for personalization. It's a very cool stuff if you know, and you can make a lot of changes using this, keep the users happy. So that way we will make more progress learning this stuff. And thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy learning Oracle apps. Bye.